We collided in the vast chaos of New York City, two souls from wildly different galaxies, colliding not by coincidence, but perhaps by the strange hand of fate. I was 24, grinding through an internship at a towering Wall Street firm, methodical and anchored in numbers and facts. Rachel, on the other hand, was the complete reverse, a wildfire of color, electric charisma, and fearless charm. Her voice had the magnetic pull to convince you every word she spoke was divine truth. I didn't fall for her, I crashed into her. And 4 years later, we stood across from each other, trading vows. The beginning felt like we'd stepped into a dream. Our days were draped in the glow of a Manhattan loft, weekend brunches, spontaneous getaways, and a lifestyle that looked lifted straight from a perfectly filtered influencer's page. She worked in marketing, part-time, and dabbled in photography. I was moving steadily up the financial ladder. With both our incomes, the city sparkled a little brighter, if only for a brief spell. But about a year into marriage, the cracks began to appear. Rachel's spending subtly spun out of control. High-end fashion, overpriced skincare subscriptions, impulsive Amazon shopping sprees, endless spa appointments, and lunches with her so-called networking tribe. I watched our bank statements with growing dread. Month by month, the credit card bills climbed. I did what I thought any sensible partner would. I sat her down, armed with spreadsheets and concern. "Rachel," I said calmly one evening after dinner, "we're bleeding money. We're draining our savings just to stay afloat." She shot me a look. Sharp, cutting, dismissive. "Oh my God, Kyle, stop mansplaining to me." It hit me like a punch. Mansplaining. That word echoed in my ears like a siren. I wasn't condescending. I wasn't attacking. I was trying to protect us. But I let it go. I didn't want a war. Maybe I came off too direct. But that was only the opening act. Over the next year, Rachel's decisions turned reckless. She quit her stable job, announcing she was going to become a freelance photographer. It was her true calling, she said. I supported her. Emotionally, financially, wholeheartedly. I built her a website, bought professional camera equipment, even carved out a makeshift studio in our living room. But the clients never came. She landed 2, maybe 3 gigs, mostly friends who wanted a discount. And then, without warning, she leased a brand new BMW. No discussion. No heads up. Just drove up one afternoon, beaming like a kid with a new toy. "Do you like it?" she asked, her smile gleaming. I couldn't speak. "You leased a luxury car without even asking me?" She gave a casual shrug. "I figured I'd use it for shoots. It's a creative thing. You wouldn't get it." "We can't afford this," I said, voice shaky. "That's $900, every single month." She rolled her eyes, her lips tightening with contempt. "I knew you'd whine about it. You think life is all numbers and graphs. You hate that I make choices without running them by you." "Choices?" I scoffed. "Rachel, we share a life. This isn't just your money." And then came the line I dreaded. "Stop mansplaining to me. You're not better than me just because you push paper around." This time, it didn't sting. It burned. I felt like a father scolding a teenager instead of a husband trying to salvage a future. Our bond had warped into something unrecognizable. Things spiraled further. I picked up consulting gigs on the side just to keep our mortgage payments from bouncing. I was surviving on adrenaline and anxiety. Meanwhile, Rachel grew distant. Her Instagram was an endless reel of hollow smiles, matcha lattes, cryptic captions about liberation and following your path. She started staying out late. Sometimes she didn't come home at all. The distance between us widened into something cavernous. And then came the night that broke me. It was 2 a.m., and the bed beside me was still empty. I called, I texted, no response. A storm surged inside me. I turned to her laptop. I never wanted to become that person. But despair has a way of shifting your moral compass. What I found was Jeremy's smile, a fellow travel photographer she'd met at an art exhibit. Not flirtation, something deeper, emotional, raw, real. She'd written him, "You see me." Kyle doesn't. He's so rigid, so bland. He tries to micromanage everything like I'm some child. In another message, she'd booked a hotel, charged to our shared credit card. My lungs tightened. The screen blurred. The cursor blinked like a silent siren. Hours later, she returned, and I didn't scream. I simply asked, "Who is Jeremy?" Her face froze. That smug smile collapsed. "I read the messages," I added. "You spied on me?" She snapped. "Do you even realize how abusive that is?" I almost laughed. "What do you call secretly draining our bank account to sleep with another man?" She crossed her arms, her voice trembling with defiance. "You've always tried to control me. That's why I had to find someone who actually gets me." "Gets you?" I shouted. "Rachel, I bent over backward to help you chase your so-called dream. You burned through our savings and cheated on me." Silence. By sunrise, I'd filed for divorce. My lawyer was sharp as glass and twice as dangerous. I came armed with receipts, emails, invoices. Rachel tried to twist the narrative, claimed I was emotionally manipulative, but it didn't hold. She walked away with her camera gear and a crushed fantasy that everything was somehow owed to her. Jeremy ditched her 2 months later. Turns out, he wasn't in it for forever, just the thrill. Her freelance empire disintegrated into missed deadlines and unpaid invoices. No structure, no stability, just empty hashtags and overdue rent. As for me, I moved into a smaller apartment, started therapy, and adopted a rescue dog named Milo. I picked up painting again, something I'd abandoned in college. I met people, real ones. One day, I saw her again, by chance, at a quiet little coffee shop. She looked frail, worn down, and lost in a body that no longer held the spark I once knew. She approached with hesitation. "Hi, Kyle," she murmured. I gave a nod. "I'm sorry, for all of it." "I know," I said gently. "I wasn't ready for what you were offering. You were stable, and I wanted chaos." "I know," I said again. She tried to smile, but her eyes gave her away. She was the ghost of a woman I once loved, and I didn't hate her. I didn't wish her harm. I felt something far greater, peace. "Goodbye, Rachel." And I turned, this time never looking back. They say communication is the backbone of any relationship. But when one person refuses to listen, when they weaponize words like mansplaining to dodge accountability, when ego reigns over truth, all the talking in the world can't resurrect something that's already dead. I poured my soul into that marriage. My time, my energy, my heart. In the end, none of it was enough. But I left with my dignity intact, and that meant more than anything we'd ever shared. She used to call me dull, predictable, obsessed with the future. But the truth is, I wasn't dull. I was laying down a foundation. She just never wanted to help build it. And that's okay, because today, I'm building something better. The end